that top line a little bit more where it is going, because we're not hearing it as note, 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 note. We might hear it that way and it becomes really, really vertical when we play something slow. But actually, when we play it fast, it might be easier to go da, 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 da. It's almost like a line that we can sing. Hello and welcome to Musical Steps with Winnie. Today is our second free piano lesson and we'll be learning about Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata. It was written in 1801 and it's probably one of his most well-known works. My name is Winnie, I am a concert pianist and I have also been teaching for 10 years. If you're looking for tailored advice on anything in particular with your performance, or if you've got any burning questions that you want to ask me, you can find out how in the description below. Okay, so let's get started. Firstly, we'll be hearing Joe play the first movement of Moonlight Sonata. Thank you, Joe, for putting yourself forward. Bravo, bravo. Well done, Joe. Thank you so much. My gosh, this is such a difficult piece to play from memory. Props to you, that is so impressive and well done. There were some things about it I really liked. For example, the tempo that you took. It says adagio sostenuto, but often I think this piece is played a little bit too slow. But I felt like you took a perfect tempo for my taste. And also what I really like that you did is you really created a sense of drama, especially in moments where there were hairpins. It says crescendo, decrescendo, and you really brought those to life. There were also moments where there were echoes, core and under responses, and then you found them in the music and you brought them out of your own accord. So I really enjoyed those moments as well. Okay, so now let's bring this to the piano. You've done really well to bring all of the foundations needed for this piece. One of your first questions to me was, how was your right hand balance, and is there anything that needs to be improved with regards to that? In terms of balance, you're doing the right thing where you're trying your best to bring out that top line and then you're keeping everything under. Overall, what I think you could strive for next is to have a look at that dynamic marked in the beginning, which is double piano. So pianissimo, it is really soft, but it says senza sordini, so without the soft pedal as well. So unfortunately we can't cheat a little bit here by using the soft pedal to help us out, which means all of this has to be done from our hands, from our fingers. Here, I think I would start by practicing hands separately. First, take the left hand, have a go at the piano and just see what is the softest sound you can make at the piano. What does it take? What are the motions? What are the movements? Maybe try doing it from your wrist, from here. A couple of times. And then you'll find the right balance. Every single piano also responds differently as well. Then you take the right hand. Now this is a little bit trickier because the right hand, you've got more notes going on, more movement going on, therefore it's more difficult to control. I think what can really help you is if you visualize that instead of playing softly and lightly in the keys in a shallow way, sort of at the surface like this, rather you're trying to slow down the velocity of your playing, that you're trying to push the keys to the bottom, but pushing those keys slowly with each finger. So practice this way, a slow push. And then just see how slow you can still press these keys without the piano missing out on the sound. There we go. Once you're used to that, try and bring it up to speed. I think that could be a really good start for trying to get ourselves used to that pianissimo kind of playing. It's always difficult and every single piano has its own personality as well. So it will take a little bit of experimentation and also patience. The next thing you asked me about is what should you do about pedaling? I think you're doing mostly the right things. I saw the action of your legs and I think you're pedaling the right way. The only thing I think we could do a little bit more is time your pedaling just 1 millisecond later. to prevent some gaps in the sound, and also occasionally change a little bit more frequently. If we take a look at bar 12, for example, and in the score that you had given me, there's already 4 pedal markings. From when I heard you play, I think you did maybe about 2, which is not bad, but I think why 4 pedal markings were written there is because we've got 4 different harmonies going on in that bar. Every single one has a very distinct characteristic, and it's also extremely chromatic in the notes. Now, if we blur them together into one pedal, oh, that's already sort of getting a little bit gritty, and then now those two are not so bad in one pedal, so you might be able to get away with that, but definitely for the first two, change here, change again here. Maybe leave that one if you feel like it. So in general, I'd say my advice would be keep your ears open, and a general rule of thumb is if it's really chromatic, change the pedal. Simple as that. Okay, so back to my earlier point with your general pedaling. I think what can help you a little bit better is the timing of your pedaling. So at the moment, you're doing the thing where as your hands go down, your foot also goes down at the same time. But actually, if we want to hide the little gaps in the pedaling to make it sound absolutely seamless, to give the illusion that we're not even using the pedal, we actually have to time it slightly after we play the note. But I'll demonstrate what I mean. So at the moment, your pedal changes are timed with your hands going down whenever they're changing chords. So as you play, your foot also goes down at the same time. And then, just before changing chords, you lift your foot to go back down at the same time. Now your pedal action is quite good. It doesn't sound very loud and noisy like this. So the actual action itself is very good, and you also pedal quite quickly rather than sort of waiting for ages in the air. So that's great. You've got the pedaling physical basics down pat. So now I think just time it 1 millisecond later than your left hand. I'm going to break this down really, really slowly. This is just exaggerating the movement. We're going to start, if you like, down at the same time. Now it's time to change the pedal. Play the chord first. At the same time, lift my foot up, and then put my foot back down. Right after. Not at the same time, but right after. So hand goes down, then the foot lifts and repedals just a millisecond after. So here's a chord. Now here is the change of the harmony. Okay, let's do that a little bit faster now. Play the chord, then move the foot. Play the chord, then move the foot. And we sort of just speed up that motion until we almost don't hear that C. Yeah? So now change right there. Okay, so have a go at doing that yourself. Maybe start with just the left hand on its own. And then play just the next note, next octave. Move the foot. And that's it. That's all you have to change. I think otherwise you've got everything else already. It's just the timing, only by a tiny little millisecond. So the next thing you asked about is dynamics. I actually think that you've done the dynamics really well. You've followed the instructions in the score, especially with these hairpins, the crescendos and decrescendos. So well done. I think you also have a really good instinct for when the piece is supposed to get bigger and louder as well. So I really enjoyed that. I think the only thing you really have to work on is what I said earlier about playing really, really softly. If you can get that level of control, you'll be able to bring out the soft parts even better with more atmosphere and a bit more gentleness as well. But otherwise, I think you'll be okay. Your last question was about phrasing. Now, this is really interesting because this piece, it's so monotonous in a way in its writing that it's the same pattern over and over. So how do we know where to go with our direction? One thing that can really help us make this a little bit fun is actually try playing it super fast. I know this sounds really weird, but if you play it really fast, you'll be able to hear where it goes a little bit more easily. Shall we have a go at that? Let's take bars 5 to 9 for example. Let's play it really fast and see what happens. So that sort of helped us visualize that, especially that top line a little bit more, where it is going, because we're not hearing it as note, 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 note. We might hear it that way and it becomes really vertical when we play something slow, but actually when we play it fast, it might be easier to go da, 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 da. It's almost like a line that we can sing. When we bring it back to regular speed again, we're going to have to try and keep that line inside our head as if we are still trying to sing that line. So hold the attention and then let go of the attention only after you've finished singing. So have a go at that and see if it helps. I think actually naturally you have pretty good instincts. You were able to identify which bits, which parts of the phrases peaked, and then which ones, even though it wasn't marked forte or piano, there were no dynamics explicitly written in the score, but whenever you saw a repetition of a bar, you played it sort of like a question answer or like a call and an echo. So that's already, you know, you respecting the phrasing in some way and you being creative with the phrasing as well. With the longer lines, with the longer slurs, try it this way, see if it helps, and yeah, see what kind of phrases you might get out of that. Everyone sings a little bit differently, everyone thinks a little bit differently. Your phrasing might end up being different to mine, but have a shot and see what you come up with. Okay, so I think that's everything for today. Thank you so much again for submitting your video to me. I've really enjoyed your performance, and I just want to say a big congratulations and thank you as well for having the courage to put yourself forward like this. Something I really appreciate is that you put yourself forward because you want to progress, you want to improve yourself, and that's something I really support. I am not looking for a complete perfect product. I'd like to normalize seeing works in progress, especially on the internet where it's scary and everyone only wants to show the perfect version of themselves. But I think this is the wonderful thing about music. I don't think there is ever such thing as a perfect performance. Neither am I a perfect performer. We can all strive to improve ourselves, and that's what we're all here for. We're here to help each other. The other important reason I started Musical Steps is because I wanted to do my own little part in trying to overcome the barriers in musical education. I know that music lessons can be quite expensive these days, so I'm just doing my little part to somehow share music with the rest of the world. These lessons are completely free, so if you're feeling brave, please put yourself forward for one. You do have the option of staying anonymous if you like, so that this is a completely safe and inclusive environment. And if you enjoyed today's lesson, please stay tuned and follow for more future music lessons. And the last thing I want to say is, practice makes progress. Thank you and see you next time.